Welcome to this video review of FlyTampa's Las Vegas. This is part of my essential add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator reviews. And it's been out a while, but it's, I think, a go-to if you're new to Microsoft Flight Simulator or you want to take a look at how this add-on performs in 2023 with a top-end, high-end rig. I'm running on a RTX 4090 and a 7800X3D. I've got FSLTL AI traffic running, so I'm putting my machine under quite a lot of pressure here to give you an idea of performance. I used to run this on a GTX 1080 and a 6700K, and I can tell you it's quite heavy on frames per second, so you'll have to dial back your settings. I'm running on ultra settings here, so everything is on maximum. My terrain level of distance is at the default ultra of 200. Just for you to know, because otherwise, even on a machine like this, you will get stutters from time to time in a city like Las Vegas with such an add-on running. So the great thing about this add-on is you have the airport, but also the city of Las Vegas with many buildings included. Don't know if you've ever been to Las Vegas. I've been twice, fortunately, and I can tell you it is a very cool city with lots of cool and strange things going on all around you. Certainly a very interesting sight to behold, and they've done it really justice here. FlyTampa have, and you get a real good sense of the city. So maybe before we explore the city, let's take a look at the airport buildings. So you can see, well, maybe before we get to the airport buildings, you can see the apron is beautifully textured, as are the runways and the details of traffic and airport traffic. Various vehicles are modeled here, so we have like vans and the baggage trucks and fire engines and lots of things going on. So it's a busy place thanks to what the developers have done. And if we look in here into this terminal building, you can see they've modeled the inside. You can see out through the glass. So it's reasonably well textured. It's not really comparable to some other developers that have gone the extra mile, but it's definitely somewhere in the middle quality level, quality-wise, in terms of the interior. I know a lot of people don't care about the interior so much, so I guess that's not so critical. Certainly the exterior is much better modeled. Just for you to know, not every building is modeled, so this one has the inside modeled, but you can't see out the glass, which is kind of silly, and it would be great if FlyTampa could fix that in an update. So basically the only terminal that you can see out of is this one, and all the others that are modeled you can see inside them, but you can't see outside them, which is a shame. So I don't know why they did that, but there you go. Now moving on, if we fly over the airport a bit to show you more generally, maybe on the land side, if we look, we have here traffic very nicely modeled. You can see a taxi pulling away. That's a really cool detail. So it's kind of going on a loop around the airport. So this is not the default road traffic and vehicle traffic of Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is modeled specifically by FlyTampa, which is really cool. And you can see they've done a nice job here of the entrance to the airport terminal. And they have each airline, Volaris, British Airways, Condor, etc., labeled outside. So nice little touches, and they have a very nice rendition of the multi-story car park here. So if we move over here, we see there's a road traveling underneath the airport. So they have the tunnel modeled here. This is the traffic's going underneath the road, which is a bit of a bug you see in a lot of add-ons where it's not aligned properly, but maybe there's nothing they can do about that. It's probably a limitation of the sim. Going over here, we see that they have some buildings modeled on the perimeter of the airport. We have economy, so I guess they must really have a building there in real life, some kind of offices. And we see that there are signage for a lot of different things. This person is a lawyer in a wreck, need a check. So they've got their advertisement there. So, you know, there's a lot going on that they've included before you hit the photogrammetry, which is default. Here we have a fast food restaurant, Jack in the Box, and more adverts. And if we fly over here, you see there's GA aircraft hangars and facilities, and also we have the famous Janet Airline, which is the contractor that flies US personnel and employees to Area 51, which is pretty close, especially by air, to Las Vegas. So going further afield, we have other aircraft hangars and various things modeled here. So there we have Better Call Saul, great series, you should check it out. That's quite funny and cool to see. And yeah, so that's pretty much the airport. You can see that it's really, really well presented. And just be warned, as I said, I just got a few stutters there, that you really need a good rig to run this, especially if you're running at high or ultra settings. Otherwise it will eat your frames per second. Now let's go and explore a bit more the city of Las Vegas. So let's start at the far end of the strip. So of course, if you've been to Las Vegas, you'll be very familiar with all the casinos and other buildings that line the strip. So here we have the palm trees modeled, Harley Davidson. I've been in there. I remember I stopped in there to get a bottle of water because it was like 40 something degrees outside, and they sell water, and take a look at what was going on inside with the motorbikes. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. If you've been to Las Vegas, you'll recognize a lot of these buildings, and I'm pretty sure they have the famous welcome to Las Vegas sign here. So you might have seen some Elvis impersonators hanging around these places if you visited. So it's pretty cool, all these nice touches, and it also looks awesome at night. So we'll take a look at that towards the end of the video. So let's fly down the strip with the drone, and you have the Mandalay Bay. You have the Luxor Casino, and you have all these adverts of various shows that I guess were taking place at the time when they made the add-on. So I don't know if they're still up to date, probably not so much. But yeah, you've got everything really. Tropicana, the Excalibur. So if you've ever been in these, they're pretty fun and strange and unusual to explore inside with all the different themes. You have the... what's this one called again? I can't remember actually off the top of my head. It is New York, New York. Right, very simple and obvious. I was thinking, okay, it's clearly New York, but is it called New York, New York? Yes, it is. So yeah, we have here MGM, Hard Rock Cafe, and some of them are modeled better than others. You can see, for example, the Hard Rock Cafe has the guitar modeled on the outside in 3D, but the textures are just flat. So it really depends on the building. Some of them are more detailed in more details than others. And yep, so you have here, of course, the famous Bellagio fountains and the Bellagio Hotel and Casino. So yeah, the fountains are modeled, and that looks pretty cool at night as well, which we'll take a look at in a few moments. Really cool is this Ferris wheel. So it's fully modeled and it rotates. So nice little touch, especially with the airport in the background. And if we continue down the strip, we have the famous Caesar's Palace. You might remember that from the film The Hangover. So that's pretty cool to see. And even off the strip, you have some other well-known hotels such as Rio and what's this one, Palms. And yeah, they've really gone to town on these on the strip and surrounding streets. So if we go back towards the strip, you will see there is the Stratosphere Hotel at the end. We have Trump Casino and Hotel, the Encore. We have yeah, Circus. If you've ever been in there, it's pretty fun. They have the amusement sort of arcade part of it with the various rides and things at the back. And I don't think you can see anything inside it. No, you can't, but you can see the outside. And yeah, so going down towards the Stratosphere, stayed there once, pretty cool hotel. You have this general store outside it, and yeah, the Stratosphere is in quite a lot of detail. And There, even the swimming pool, just the texture of it on the roof. And yeah, if we head down towards Fremont Street, which is the downtown of Las Vegas, and some would say it's a little more real than the Strip if you want a more sort of local, authentic experience, even though it's still geared towards tourists. I think it's much older historically than the Strip is. So going down here, we don't have anything but photogrammetry on these parts. So if you want to look for example, a little wedding chapel in these types of places, they are not modeled. There it is, I think. But if we go down towards Fremont Street, you'll see the buildings here are modeled again. So they've done a great job on modeling Fremont Street and its surrounding hotels and various buildings. I stayed down here once as well. I recommend if you ever visit Las Vegas, it's a very interesting place, to check out. Yeah, it's well modeled here. So if you go past Fremont Street, though, it quickly becomes a kind of photogrammetry mess. A little tourist tip: if you're ever down this way, if you walk down this street in real life, somewhere down here, I think it's this building, you'll reach the Atomic Cafe, I think it's called. So it's like a kind of bar, but it's very, very famous historical bar in Las Vegas, where locals still go. So it's more local than touristy, and it's where the Rat Pack used to hang out. So it seems, and also people used to go up on the roof and watch in the distance the atomic test explosion. So let's have a look at how it appears at nighttime. So if I go up to the settings of time of day, and actually I'll put it back to real time, because currently it is nighttime there. So if we have a look at the downtown, you see Fremont Street, the Fremont Street area here is actually Fremont Street, and they haven't done the lights really on the ceiling of it. As you'd see, there's like in real life, there's screens, live screens flashing various images and video on top of the ceiling. That's not modeled, but I guess they don't expect you to go underneath it, considering it's a flight simulator. But yeah, you have all the buildings lit up and nicely shown at nighttime, represented. So if we fly down here now on the drone back towards the Strip, you see the stratosphere lit up nicely, all the neon signage, neon lights, and as we go further, it gets more impressive. So the Encore, the Palazzo, Treasure Island, and look at this Ferris wheel. Isn't that nice? So you can see it moving around, all lit up. So this isn't in HDR, of course, at the moment, because you can't easily record in HDR when you're recording software or games, and then when you upload it, it's a mess. So if you play it in HDR, though, it is very impressive when you have all these fancy neon lights. So you can see the Bellagio fountains. There we go. And so if we fly back now towards the airport to check out the night lighting of the airport, you can see it's busy with lots of AI traffic. Of course, it's nighttime there, or early morning. What time is it again? So it's early, I think it's early morning. 6:07 a.m. So the airport is already incredibly busy. So this is using real live traffic, I think from like Flight Radar or one of these traffic sources. So you can see, wow, it's incredibly busy. So yeah, you can see the airport at nighttime is very nicely lit. And it looks really awesome with Las Vegas in the background of the Strip. You can see inside the terminal buildings are lit, although once again, you can't see outside them, annoyingly. But there we go. Look at this guy speeding around. And a little factoid, McCarran Airport was built in 1942 and commenced airline operations in 1948, and of course it has expanded massively since then with lots of modern development, as you can see. If we go over to this side of the airport now. So here you can see we have the cargo section of the airport, and these planes here, at least most of them are, I think all of them actually, come with the sim modeled as part, so they're not AI. Certainly the UPS, I don't know about the FedEx one, but the UPS one I know is by the developer, so it's like a static aircraft. But there's not many static aircraft. There's a few others around the place, but there's not so many, so it's definitely worth using it with a traffic add-on like FSLTL. So that's about it, really. So I'd highly recommend getting this airport, as airport add-ons go in Flight Simulator is definitely, in my humble opinion, it is an essential add-on if you're in the market for buying add-ons. There's so many cool places to fly around near Las Vegas and fly to. And just even exploring the city low and slow in a GA aircraft is a lot of fun, or just approaching in a jet. You can't beat it. Yeah, so I would put it up there, definitely in my top 5 add-on airports, possibly even my number 1, but that's a hard one to decide on. But yeah, there you go. So I'll leave you with that. I'll maybe just position the camera here so you can see some traffic taking off and landing. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like if you found it useful, and definitely leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on this add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed the video.